Hey guys, did you know that the minor pentatonic is exactly the same as the major pentatonic in terms of the shapes? It's simply a different root note. I'm going to walk you through this today and explain it. If you happen to have seen the minor pentatonic lesson I taught recently where I teach you all of the shapes, it's the same lesson more or less, but from a different perspective. The same PDF that's available on my Patreon will give you all the information you need for that. I dual labeled that diagram at the time, so grab that if you haven't got it, or pull it back out if you've already used it. And if you're not a member, consider signing up. But of course, as always, I try to make my lessons user-friendly to people who perhaps aren't in a position to sign up, and that's totally cool. So guys, comments below. Guys, enjoy the lesson, and yeah, there's some tricky concepts, so don't be afraid to ask questions as well. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're not a subscriber, and, you know, smash the like button and all the things the kids say. Okay, so as with last lesson, in regards to the pentatonics, the last theory for Rockabilly and Psychobilly lesson, I'm going to walk you through all of the shapes. So we've got, now, I decided to play this one from B flat major, and it doesn't matter where you play it from, as long as you remember that shape 1 is your root position. Think of it as where you'd play your root 6 major chord, and then the scale, this particular shape will match from there. So we've got 6th fret on the 6th string, pinky on the 8th, 1st on the 5th, pinky on the 8th. Then we're 1st on the 5th, pinky on the 8th, 5, 7, 6, 8, 6, 8. Okay? And if we want to stop on that root note specifically, it's there. Okay? So I cross over at that point. Okay? So that's your B flat major pentatonic scale, or just think of that as the root position of your major pentatonic scale. Does that shape seem familiar? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I'll keep moving and I'll explain a little more as we go. So, shape 2 in the major pentatonic. So we start on fret 6 or the note C. Oh, sorry, fret 8 or the note C. And we go 8, 10, 8, 10, 8, 10, 7 on the 3rd string, 10. Okay, 8, 11, 8, 10. And our root note was back here, okay? So this is our the D, the C, the B flat. G, F, D, C, B flat. Okay, so just a quick refresher. Well, actually, it's not really a refresher. I don't think I've mentioned this necessarily, but if you think about the major scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, the major pentatonic scale just ditches the 4th note. Nope. Goes to the 5th and the 7th degree. We skip the 7th degree and the 5th. Now, this is really amazing because these two notes in the scale here are the notes that clash really heavily. Okay? So by removing them, we're making that collection of notes a much more harmonic group, or harmonious group of notes, I should say. Also, a lot of interesting things happen when you look at a B flat major chord scale. When we eliminate these two notes, there's just a lot less potential clashing within all of the chords that are available to us in the B flat major, or sorry, any major chord scale. Okay, so I won't get too far into that because you're probably here just to get the shapes down, so we'll keep moving along. But do have a think about what I just said. It can be really helpful. So that was the second shape in the major pentatonic. Now we're going to go into the third shape in the major pentatonic. Okay, so shape 3, we've got the 10 on the 6th string, 13, and now we're on the 5th string, we're going 10 to 13, okay. Then on the 4th string, we're going 10 to 12, 3rd string, we're going 10 to 12 as well. Now I go to my 2nd finger, and I play the 11, which is the root note, by the way, 13th fret, now we're on the 1st string, 10, 13, and now let's work our way backwards. So that was 13, 10, now we're going 13, 11, 12, 10, 12, 10, 13, 10, 13, 10. And I like to round up on the root note. See, for a second there I actually stopped on the G, and that's the minor pentatonic right there. It's really just the perspective, you know, when we actually lock that in as our home note, the whole scale sounds nice and sweet. And when we lock the G in as the root note, it's obviously that more bluesy rock sound, okay? So that was shape 3 in the major pentatonic. Okay, now we're going to go to shape 4. This is the, so this one's kind of, think of it like this. 2 short kind of steps, or 2 tone movements, 13, 15, 13, 15. Then we're doing 2 long ones, 12, 15, 12, 15. Then we're doing 2 short ones, 13, 15, 13, 15. So it's a symmetrical shape, okay? Can you see that? tall, tall, short, short. Minor root note, okay, not really important because today's the major pentatonic. There's our note. Okay, a little bit of noodling around. It's kind of that country flavour. Obviously, we add things to spice this up later on, you know, especially in rockabilly stuff or the really upbeat kind of psychobilly stuff. Like think of Bales of Cocaine by Reverend Horton Heat, for example. Yeah, we're going to throw a bunch of things in between, but yeah, learning these structures is extremely important. Now, the next shape, this is where I think you're going to click, okay? This is the really useful part. So, if I play from here, this is what the major pentatonic looks like. Keep in mind that the pink is the root note. I know you've seen this shape before. This is just the minor pentatonic shape 1. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'll walk you through this again. So it's 15, 18, 15, 17, 15, 17, 15, 17, 15, 18, 15, 18. Okay, we can play this right back here at the 3rd fret. Now that is just minor pentatonic shape 1, and guess what? Minor pentatonic shape 1 is major pentatonic shape 5. Believe it or not, it's the last shape before we return back to the root shape. Okay. So hopefully now you kind of, you've got the tools to work through all of those shapes, but if you've done your minor pentatonic shapes, they're actually the same shape. So we did the minor pentatonics in G minor. And guess what? It's all the same shapes. Sorry, I should stop there. It's all the same shapes. Okay, now how do you take this and use it to your advantage? Well, I'm just going to set up a loop pedal to make this this part a little bit less confusing. Okay, guys, so if I want to play in a minor pentatonic, you guys probably know how to do that. It's quite easy. I would play, for example, a G chord of some sort. Could be G minor or major. And I would use the G minor pentatonic scale. That's quite simple, okay? That's not too complicated. And now, in terms of what we did today with those shapes, if I was to play from B flat major and make that our home plate, so we're playing in B flat now, all the same shapes in G minor actually apply to B flat major. Think about it as one family, and think you've got a mum and a dad, and mum might be the major pentatonic and dad might be the minor pentatonic, but it's the same family of notes. It's just deciding who you're hanging out with, I guess. It's not the best analogy, but you get the idea. So let me demonstrate. If I'm playing a B flat major chord here, and I'm going... trying to get the damn thing to stop. So hopefully you saw there that I just played a progression in the key of B flat, and I used that B flat major pentatonic shape. Now, if I want to start stretching up and down the board a little bit more, well, of course I could learn my major pentatonics, and utilize that. But obviously, having spent plenty of time with minor pentatonics and being familiar with the shape back here, it gives me an extra option that I'm very comfortable with. So check this out. So you can see the only thing that really changed there in that box shape is just I have a different root note, okay? Now, if we wanted to, for example, say, if you said, well, Adrian, I actually want to play in G major pentatonic. I don't want to play in B flat major pentatonic. It's all great that they're the same scale, but how do I make this a major pentatonic? Well, really simple. Okay, so I'm going to record a new progression. So we'll play something in G. Now what I'm going to do here is simply take the major pentatonic shape 1 okay, that we used in B flat, and I'm going to make that the shape 1 of G. Now we're going to get the G major pentatonic sound from G. So check this out. Okay, a little bit cheesy that progression, but again, you guys get the idea. Now, if we wanted to make this stuff a little bit more interesting, there's a whole bunch of colors we add and things we can throw in between that basic shape, okay? But that's a starting point. What I mean by that, I guess, okay, so what I'm talking about there is just sliding into notes and using some tones that do fall in between, and that's totally okay. But having these outer structures give you a lot to work with and something to actually throw things into, okay? If you've got nothing, it's definitely a lot harder. So you don't want these things to restrict you and make you feel like that's all you can play. You want to let them give you an outer structure that you can add your own sauce to. It's always like cooking. I don't ever really cook, but you get the idea. Okay, so guys, just to reiterate, that would also mean that all the other shapes that we use, this being in a major pentatonic shape 1, then we could use what was shape 2 in the major pentatonic, which we also learnt as shape 3 in the minor pentatonic, and then we can use shape 4. Okay, then we can use shape 5. Oh, something's going out of tune here. There it is. Sorry guys. So yeah, you can use, so now we're using shape, I believe that's shape 4, and then shape 5. Have a look. So this is still in G. Shape 5 is actually E minor pentatonic, but again, the all-important root note is the G there. But I'm a big fan of using that shape, okay, over a major pentatonic. And this is a great tip, guys. If you're in G, see where you can use your minor pentatonic shape. We can use it open here, because it's a very familiar shape, and you've probably learnt a lot of licks there. Let me give you an example. I'll do it from here. Okay. Okay, so that's the general rundown. All you do in any key, if you want the major pentatonic sound, but you want to use the minor pentatonic shape, is take whatever the major root note is. So, God, it could be D flat major. That's a horrible key, but I'll show you. It doesn't matter what key it is. There's our D flat. I'm going to bring this finger back 1, 2, 3 frets. I'm going to put my pinky on the 9th fret, okay? And I'm going to, and I know that's the root note now, but I'm just going to use that minor pentatonic shape. Okay, now if I hate D flat major. It's like, it's a horrible key. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that lesson. It's a fairly simple concept, but it can take a little bit to get your head around it. So have a bit of a muck around and don't be afraid to ask questions in the comments. And of course, at least give the video a like. And if you're not a subscriber, hit that button and catch me in the next video. See you guys later.